The email hit my inbox at 3:17 a.m. like a bullet through the temple. Subject line: Payroll anomaly. Urgent review required. Attachment: a single Excel file named Q3_headcount_additions.xlsx. I was awake anyway, staring at the ceiling fan while Sarah breathed soft and even beside me, one arm flung across my chest the way she'd done since college. The blue glow of my phone lit the room just enough to see the faint freckles on her shoulder I used to trace when we couldn't sleep. I opened the file. Row 47. Name: Ethan Caldwell. Position: Junior Strategic Analyst. Department: Marketing. Direct report to Sarah M. Reed, VP. Start date: August 14, 2025. Salary: $112,000. Hire authorized by S. Reed. Ethan Caldwell. 26. The same Ethan Caldwell whose Instagram stories Sarah had been liking for 6 months. Sun-drenched gym selfies, rooftop bars, that cocky half-smirk she once told me was just a kid being a kid. The same Ethan Caldwell who'd been at our house 2 weeks ago for the company summer party, shaking my hand with a grip that lingered half a second too long while Sarah laughed too loudly at something he whispered in her ear. My stomach folded in on itself. The room smelled suddenly of her coconut shampoo and the metallic tang of my own panic. I didn't wake her. I couldn't. Not yet. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed in the dark and opened the corporate directory. His employee photo loaded. Tousled dark hair, green eyes, dimples sharp enough to cut glass. The kid looked like he'd been designed in a lab to ruin marriages. Under emergency contact, Sarah's personal cell was listed. Not HR's generic form. Her actual number. The one she'd had since we were 22. I felt the first crack in my chest, like ice breaking on a pond you thought was solid. Sarah stirred. Babe. Her voice was thick with sleep. What are you doing? Nothing, I lied, closing the screen. Go back to sleep. She rolled over, pressed her lips to my shoulder blade, and within seconds her breathing evened out again. I sat there until dawn, phone burning in my hand, every nerve on fire. The next 3 weeks were a masterclass in slow torture. She started staying late for a big project. Came home smelling like someone else's cologne. Something sharp and expensive that wasn't the Aqua di Gio I'd worn for 12 years. She'd kiss me hello, distracted, eyes flicking to her phone every 30 seconds. When I asked about the new hire she was mentoring, her answer came too fast. Ethan? Yeah, super bright kid. Needs a lot of guidance. You know how it is with Gen Z, they think hustle culture is a personality. She laughed. I didn't. I began checking the security footage from the office garage. Remote access I still had from when I'd been CFO 3 years ago. Before I stepped down to consult independently and spend more time with the family. There they were. 11:47 p.m., 12:03 a.m., 1:12 a.m. Sarah's white Audi pulling in beside a black Mustang I didn't recognize. 2 silhouettes in the elevator, her hand on his chest, his mouth on her neck before the doors even closed. I watched it on mute in our home office while she showered, steam curling under the door, humming some pop song like nothing was wrong. I must have replayed that clip 100 times, searching her body language for the exact moment my wife stopped belonging to me. I wanted to throw up. I wanted to burn the building down. I wanted to crawl into bed and pretend I'd never seen any of it. Instead, I did what any self-respecting finance guy does when his world implodes. I built a spreadsheet. Every late night. Every suspicious Venmo. Lunch with E. Every heart eyes emoji she sent to a contact saved as E do not disturb. I cross-referenced calendars, expense reports, Slack messages I still had cash from when we shared a family plan. By the end I had 37 pages of irrefutable proof that my wife had not only cheated but had embezzled company funds to put her 26-year-old boyfriend on payroll for a job he barely showed up to. I waited until the night before the quarterly board meeting. Sarah was in our bedroom packing for a leadership offsite in Napa, 3 days, just her and the executive team. Translation: 3 days in a vineyard house with Ethan. She was humming again, folding silk blouses into a suitcase monogrammed with our initials. I stood in the doorway holding a glass of the Macallan 18 we'd been saving for our 10th anniversary next month. Hey, I said quietly. We need to talk. She froze, one hand on a lace bra I'd never seen before. Can it wait? I'm swamped. No, I stepped inside, closed the door. It really can't. I laid it all out. Not screaming God, I wanted to scream, but in the calm surgical voice I used when I dismantled fraudulent startups for a living. I watched every word land like a scalpel. The expense reports. The fake job requisition signed with her digital signature. The security footage I'd already emailed to the board, the CEO, and the head of HR with a timestamp 10 minutes from now. Her face cycled through every stage of grief in 30 seconds flat. Denial, bargaining, rage, collapse. When she realized I wasn't bluffing, she sank onto the bed like someone had cut her strings. David, please. It didn't mean anything. It was stupid, it was. You put him on my company's payroll, Sarah. My voice cracked on her name. You used money I helped earn to pay the guy who's been fucking you in our marital bed, while I was home walking the dog. Tears streaked her mascara. I was going to end it. I swear. I felt old. You were always working, always traveling, and he made me feel. Don't. I held up a hand. Don't you dare make this about me. Silence stretched between us, thick and ugly. She whispered. What happens now? I told her the truth. Tomorrow morning the board votes on your termination. Criminal charges are up to the DA, but fraud over 100 grand usually gets attention. Ethan's already been walked out. Security escorted him 10 minutes ago, and I've filed for divorce. The papers are on the kitchen island next to the anniversary scotch we're clearly never drinking. She stared at me like I was speaking a foreign language. You're destroying my life over a mistake? No, Sarah. I set the glass down untouched. You destroyed ours. I'm just the one holding the pieces. I left her sitting on the bedroom floor surrounded by clothes she wouldn't need for Napa. As I walked down the hallway, I heard the first broken sob rip out of her. Raw animal. Nothing like the woman I'd loved for 13 years. In the kitchen I poured the Macallan down the sink and watched it swirl away like everything else. The board fired her at 9:04 a.m. By 9:17 the news was on the industry Slack channels. By noon her LinkedIn was scrubbed of the VP title. By nightfall Ethan had deactivated every social account and apparently left the state. People keep asking if I feel vindicated. I don't. I feel hollow. Like someone reached in and scooped out every organ that used to hold love, and left a cave where my heart should be. Sometimes, at 3:17 a.m. I still open that original email. Row 47 glows on the screen like a scar. I wonder if she ever thinks about the exact moment she decided a stranger's mouth on her skin was worth more than the life we built. I wonder if I'll ever stop wondering. Mostly I just sit in the dark, listening to the ceiling fan spin, breathing in air that still faintly smells like coconut, and trying to remember what it felt like to trust someone with my whole damn world.